now Mr. Gончаренко from Ukraine, European Conservative.
Dear Chairman, dear colleagues, yes, today is the anniversary of Chernobyl tragedy in Ukraine. And you know what is common between radiation and corruption? At first, you see nothing. Everything looks normal. But then the consequences appear. And the consequences are really awful. And the consequences last for decades. That is common. And now we are speaking about the situation, about this corruption report. But is it really only about Azerbaijan? Do you believe that this corrupted group inside of the assembly, they worked only for one country? Do you really believe in this? I just want to remind you that Mr. Pedro Agramunt, who is mentioned in the report 171 times, finally and happily we got rid of him last year. But why? Because of corruption? No. Because he went to Syria on Russian Ministry of Defense jet. So do you think that Mr. Agramunt loves Russia really without any money, without nothing? I just want to remind you, maybe you think Mr. Agramunt is now on pension. He is not here for the moment. Maybe he is ashamed to come inside. But Mr. Agramunt was on the Putin's elections and he made a statement this March that elections are wonderful. Wonderful elections in Russia. 77% for Putin and elections in occupied Crimea. It's wonderful, super. And he became an honorable doctor of Academy of Russian President in Moscow. It was in October last year. So he continues his activity. And I'm sure that not all names are mentioned now. And these corrupted groups still work here. And the next aim they have is to get back Russia without any sanctions. And they will use any mechanism. Today's ad hoc committee, they will use any normal mechanism just with their own aims. So please be very cautious when somebody says to you, we need to change rules, we need interparliamentary dialogue. Remember the story about Agramunt, remember this report. I'm sure the next report will be about Russian influence on what is going on here. One more question. We're speaking about I want to raise a concrete question. In our country we say that the fish rots from the head, and that's truth. And I want to quote the report. It's number 90, page 24. The investigation body heard evidence from Mr. Arif Mamadov, is the former ambassador of Azerbaijan here in PASE, that he had tried, both in his capacity as ambassador and after leaving office, to raise awareness on all the issues happening around Azerbaijan with Mr. Yagland and the then head of his private office, Mr. Bjorn Berch, but that there had been no reaction to the allegations he had made. Why? I think we all need to hear the answer. Mr. Agramunt is our past. Mr. Yagland is present here. I think we should hear the answer. So, please, I'm sure that we need to react on this corruption scandal in the strongest possible manner. Because if we don't do this, it will mean that what right will we have to demand from member states to vigorously fight corruption? Thank you very much, and I want to hear the concrete answers. And the story is not closed. Thank you.